Greetings, YouTube. There's been a lot of buzz in the news lately about Obama telling the financial institutions that the American people bailed out, it's time to start paying us back. And you know, I think they should. And I think they should be doing it probably before they give out huge million-dollar bonuses to people. But you know, that's just me. But of course, one of the points that the financial sector keeps making is that if they don't give out these bonuses, they'll lose their best people and they'll move on to somewhere else. Though I'm curious where they're going to move to. Because if all the corporations in America did that, and all of the European corporations are already now putting massive caps on bonuses, where are these geniuses supposed to go? These same geniuses that drove our entire economy into the toilet. I'm thinking that the market for financial geniuses like this is getting narrower as the days pass. But that's just me. But I would like a real solution to this problem. Now, my initial reaction, of course, is to look at the list of the Fortune 500 and arrest every single CEO on that list and throw them in jail. I don't think we really need trials. Just chuck him in prison. But that isn't really going to help anything. That's just going to make a whole lot of people very unhappy. It'd be vindictive. It might even be fun. But it wouldn't be very compassionate, now would it? No, what I'm looking for is some real change. I can't really blame the CEOs because, let's face it, they did what they did because we let them. The United States government relaxed regulations to the point where they could do anything. They could do the equivalent of walking down the street and just shoot people at will and know they would never, ever be arrested. We let them play willy-nilly and gamble with our entire economy because we took all the controls off. We removed all the governors. So I can't blame them, I guess, for doing what we let them do. I can blame the Republican Party for allowing them to have that freedom. And I can blame the Democratic Party for lying on its back like an absolute spineless group of jellyfish and let the Republican Party do this. Not to mention the Democrats that desperately want to be members of the Republican Party. You know, was it they call them the Blue Dogs? Yeah. You guys, I don't need you. Nor do the American people. We need some actual real-life liberals. It'd be a nice change of pace. But what I'm truly looking for is a global economic solution. Not just something that's going to, put a patch on the old economy and get it rolling again for another year, another 5 years. I want a real revolution. I'm not looking for a functioning economy. I want a financial, sustainable ecology. And when I say that, I'm talking about the understanding that there's a finite amount of matter on this planet. The only thing we have coming onto our planet that's in an infinite supply is sunlight. Other than that, all we've got is already here. So we need to make sure that everyone on the planet has enough of everything to survive. I don't want to completely wipe out capitalism, but I really want to rein it in. I'm the firm belief that everybody from age, say, 20 through 70 should work 40 hours a week. They shouldn't have to work more than 40 hours a week. No one should be required to work 50, 60-hour weeks to make their bills. I work with people who have 2 jobs, and some of them are working 77 to 94 hours a week just so they can pay their mortgages off. That's insane. It's obscene. So if everyone from in that age bracket, 20 to 70, worked 40 hours a week, their income should be able to afford them not only a little bit of spending money, not a lot, and some leisure time, but everything they need to cover their housing, their clothing, their food, their education, their health care, and their retirement. Now, I don't think that's asking a lot. That's a rather reasonable request, in fact. But it's going to take a vastly radical change to the world to achieve it. Because gone would be the third world nations of cheap labor. gone would be the CEOs making 430 times what their lowest paid employee makes. There would still be incentive. There would still be people willing to work 60, 80 hours a week so they could become the rich people on the block. More power to them. I don't want to be one of them. I want my wife and I to work 40 hours a week and be able to afford a house. I want to make sure we have health care. And after 70 or so, I can retire. At this moment, there's no chance I'm ever going to be able to retire. I'll be working until the day I die. The day I stop working will be the day I stop eating. In this world, we don't need people making as much money as those CEOs in America make. The European CEOs, they only make about 40 times what their lowest employee makes. Yet the Americans make 430 times. You can't tell me that the CEOs in America are 10 times as good as the European CEOs. Because frankly, the European economy is in better shape for the most part than the one we have here. We should put controls on things like how much leverage a financial institution can use based on the amount of money it has. Instead of allowing them to, say, gamble 30 times what they've got, let's rein it into 10. That's what Brazil does, and Brazil's economy is in pretty decent shape at the moment. There are changes that can be made, but people have to be willing to do it. We have to change the way we finance our electrical system, too. Campaign finance reform must be done. We must erase the ability to bribe politicians, which is currently what financial institutions are allowed to do. They can just bribe people. They pay for the politicians do what they want. And since the common man that I'm talking about here can't bribe his politicians, he's out left in the cold. I know I'm talking about some radical concepts. Many people will point at me and scream communist or socialist. Let them. I have no problem with somebody calling me a socialist. The reality is I want everyone to have what they need to survive. I want them to be comfortable. I want them to be able to have an enjoyable life and not have to worry about starving to death, or being homeless, or dying from sickness, or not having an education. I don't think it's a lot to ask for. But it does mean that the uber rich in the world, they're just going to have to be rich. And I'm okay with that. I don't have a problem with, Donald Trump only owns one skyscraper.